Welcome to another stair building video for deck construction and how the stairs can transfer between the decks. And this is going to be part 2. Part 1 provided you with this type of a deck. Part 2 will be providing you with this type of connection. Now I'm not going to be changing anything on top. However, I will be providing you with a few different construction methods, like this one here where you can use the doubler to go all the way across instead of installing another footing. For example, if we stop it right here, we would need a footing here, and if we stopped it over here, this footing here would be used over here. And again, I would suggest to cut your stair stringers as soon as you have the total rise or the distance between the lower and the upper floors. And again, I would suggest to cut at least one stair stringer that you can use as a pattern for the other stair stringers and as a guide to position some of the decking and the floor joist. And that will make a little more sense as we get a little further on in the video. Now, I would also like to point out that this method right here is going to use a couple of more joists. If you remember in the other plan, we just had a single joist on the end, where in this plan we are going to add another one here and another one here and a few more structural hangers. And you will be able to use the stair stringer that you're cutting as a pattern to set it in place to find out where you want to stop the doubler here. Next up, let's take a look at another method where we're going to move the post back a little further and not use an in-column cap here so that the joist can cantilever a little bit, and we're going to do the same over here. However, we are going to use an inverted hanger or a concealed hanger here where the flanges are located on the inside and not on the outside. And we will also need to insert a 1/2 inch piece of scrap lumber because it might be difficult to find a column cap that will work for a doubler instead of a beam like a 4x. And also feel free to substitute any hardware that we have here with something that will work better. And the weight will be transferring through the doubler over to this doubler and then down to the concrete foundation. And another method, of course, would be to use an end column cap to have everything finish off even with the end of the joist here. And since we changed this one here, let's go ahead and change the other one to where we will use a strap instead of a column cap connector. And we will change the design of the joist here to where we're going to have one run through and the other one butt it, and then this one butt into this one, and then this one butt into this one here. And this usually isn't too difficult to do. You're going to nail through this one here, in nail into this, and then in nail this one here into this one here with maybe 3 16D nails. And then, of course, you can nail the doublers at 16 inches on center, staggered. And if this connection right here isn't going to work for you because it's only going to be supported by a 1/2 inch, then you could always change the 4x4 out to a 4x6. And you could always change the location of the strap or simply add another strap. And for this one here, we could have a strap over here, a strap over here, and a strap on the inside also. And since everything is looking pretty good, let's go ahead and install our decking and then our stairs so that we can start taking a look at how the hand railing might work, or the hand railing posts that can be bolted to the stair stringers like we have here. And these usually provide enough structural strength for our guardrails. However, this one here is not going to be providing us with enough strength. And I'll provide you with a little more information about that in a moment. However, before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at this connection here, where we ran the post a little bit further down to tie it into the doubler here. And if needed, you can always put 2 bolts down here and then 2 bolts up here. And that could always be done later. You could always install something like this, and if it doesn't feel strong enough, then go ahead and try adding the other bolts. And you can see here how that would work to where the stringer is going to be tied to the post along with the doubler there. Except on the other side, all we're going to have is this. And if you're not happy with this situation here, then don't worry about it, because all you need to do is move the joist over to either side. For example, we have it on this side. You can always put it on the other side here, and then run the post down into the joist so that you can put another bolt through it. And of course, we did the same thing over here. And hopefully something like this will provide you with a strong post so that nobody falls through the guard railing. And again, we can see here where everything is bolted together to create a nice, sturdy stair handrail. Next up, let's go ahead and provide you with another option, and that would allow you to remove a couple of the planks here, because if you remember, the joist cantilevered a little further out. And if we want to line everything up with a post that we have put in the corner here, then we will need to line the edge of the decking up with the edge of the post. And this would be something you would need to figure out before you build the lower deck, so that you could create a pretty good plan on how you're going to connect everything together. For example, here we're using a couple of framing anchors along with a bolt. However, you could always run this bolt through this way and then run a bolt through the post and the beam. And let's keep in mind that these are only suggested construction methods, and they might not be approved by local building authorities or engineers. Next up, let's go ahead and take a look at possibly using a corner strap here, along with some type of a flat plate or your framing anchor again. And don't forget that the corner posts are usually going to be supported by the guardrail at the top. So if you have a handrail or a guardrail running in this direction, and you have another one running in this direction, then this post is going to get a lot of strength from both of the top rails and all of the other parts that are going to connect everything together. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment area. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video.